Hey, let's grab a coffee and talk about something real. We're going to dive into a book that's like a splash of cold water in a world obsessed with good vibes only. Mark Manson's The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck.
You know that feeling when you're scrolling through your feed and you just get hit with this wave of exhaustion, this constant nagging pressure to be perfect, to be amazing 24/7? If you've ever felt that, you are in exactly the right place.
So that feeling? It actually has a name. The book calls it the exceptional trap. It's this nonstop buzz in our culture that tells us that just being average isn't good enough anymore, that you have to be extraordinary just to feel like you matter. And this perfectly captures the two different movies we're all living in. On one side, you've got the social media highlight reel. You know the one, the perfect job, the flawless vacation, the nonstop hustle. But then there's reality, where failure is totally normal, rest is absolutely necessary, and you know what? It is okay to just be sad sometimes. The book makes a great point that this huge gap between these two worlds is a massive source of our anxiety.
This pressure has a pretty intense name, the tyranny of exceptionalism. It's that voice in the back of your head saying that if you're not a viral sensation or a tech genius, you're somehow failing. And here's the twist. The book argues this has become a weird new kind of entitlement, but it's disguised as anxiety. We feel entitled to be special, and when we're not, we feel like something's wrong. And honestly, it is exhausting.
So, what's the solution we all turn to? We chase happiness, right? We think, if I just get that one thing, that job, that relationship, that number in my bank account, I'll finally be happy. But the book throws a major curveball here. What if chasing happiness is the very thing that's making us miserable?
See, happiness isn't some prize you get at the end of the game after you've solved all your problems. According to Manson, it's more like a byproduct. It's what just shows up when you're busy living your life, fully engaged in the messy, complicated, imperfect process of it all. And this is a huge mindset shift. Life is always going to have problems. You solve one, and guess what? Another one pops up. So the goal isn't to have a problem-free life, because that's a total fantasy. The real goal is to find better problems, to trade your crappy, meaningless problems for good ones that are actually worth solving because they align with your values.
Okay, so if the goal is to find better problems, how on earth do we do that? Well, this brings us to the core idea of the book. It's not about being indifferent to everything. It's about being incredibly picky about what you choose to care about. We're all running around asking the wrong question. We are obsessed with the how of happiness. We want the 5-step guide, the quick fix, the life hack that's going to finally unlock it for us. But here's the much better, much more powerful question to ask yourself. What pain are you willing to put up with? What struggle are you willing to choose because it serves something bigger that you actually care about? The answer to that question, that's where you find meaning.
So how do we actually do this? First, you've got to define your values. What's truly non-negotiable for you, not for your Instagram followers or your parents? Then you have to take responsibility. Now, this isn't about blaming yourself. It's about owning your response to things. It shifts you from being a victim to being the one in the driver's seat. And finally, when you're clear on those two things, you suddenly have the power to say no to all the stuff that's just noise, freeing up your energy for what really matters.
All right, this next idea might sting a little at first because it goes against pretty much everything we've ever been told. And it's this: not only is it okay to be average, it's actually liberating.
Just let that one sink in. In a world that is screaming at you to be special, to stand out, the message here is to just be. The truth is, by definition, most of us are average at most things. And accepting that isn't giving up, it's finding freedom. Because once you stop needing to be special, the whole game changes. You're not performing for likes anymore. You can finally fail without your entire identity crumbling. You can get off that endless treadmill of comparing yourself to others. And this is where real confidence comes from. Not from thinking you're the best, but from being so comfortable with who you are that you have absolutely nothing to prove.
Okay, so that brings us to the how-to part. Let's wrap up with a few key ideas for actually putting this philosophy into practice day in and day out.
So many of us wait to feel confident before we start something. That's totally backward. Action comes first, motivation follows. You have to be willing to do it badly, to mess up, and to learn from it. Confidence isn't something you have. It's something you build by doing. Okay, this one sounds pretty dark, but stick with me because it's actually incredibly useful. The book argues that really facing the fact that our time here is limited is the best filter we have for making decisions. It just cuts through all the petty drama and forces you to ask, is this really how I want to spend my precious time? It's not about being morbid, it's about being intentional. And really, if you boil it all down, it comes to this. Your attention, your energy, your ability to care, it's a finite resource. You only have so much of it. The quality of your life isn't determined by how much you achieve, but by what you choose to let go of. Spend it wisely.
If any of this resonated with you, if you feel even a little bit of that pressure lifting, do us a favor and hit the like button. It really helps.
And hey, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss our next deep dive. We're going to keep unpacking these big ideas that help us make sense of this crazy modern world. We all have that friend, right? The one who gets totally tangled up in stuff that just doesn't matter. Go ahead and share this with them. It might just be the thing they need to hear today. And I'll leave you with this to chew on. After all this, what is one trivial thing, one little piece of baggage that you are going to decide not to care about starting today? Drop your answer in the comments below. Thanks for hanging out.